Welcome back to the Consult Centre podcast with me, your host, Ruth Wilkinson. Your podcast for all things in startup business, PR, digital, raising the awareness of your brand, featuring interviews with local and successful business owners, giving you the benefit of their help and advice. Enjoy the show.
So hello and welcome back to the Consult Centre's podcast. Here with us for another edition, meeting local business owners in Lancaster and Morecambe and surrounding areas. So I'm joined by Soaad. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Ruth?
I'm good, thank you. I'm glad that we're coming out of lockdown, hopefully.
Yes.
Normality may well resume in some form or another.
Yeah, today was the first step, wasn't it?
It was actually, of course, yeah, because now you can meet somebody else outside, can't you? And you're able to go for a drive, if nothing else.
Yes, and I think gyms have opened, I believe.
Ah, okay. Right, well, I'll just do my fitness down the prom.
You got the best view there.
Absolutely, very, very lucky. So, we've got you on today to talk about your business. So, for those people that don't know, do you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, so my name is Soaad, and I have an online women clothing boutique called Ayesha's Attire. I named it after my 5-year-old daughter, purely because she's my inspiration, she's my drive, she's why I'm doing it, to be honest. I'm a single mum, a proud single mum, and I want to show her that, you know, you can do it regardless of your circumstances and what have you. So yeah, I mean, I'm online. I haven't got a physical shop, but I'm local. I'm in Lancaster. So yeah.
So what got you started? Because how long have you been going now?
About over a year or something, but I think I feel like I've started properly since Ayesha's gone back to school. So she was in nursery, so she was doing part-time, and then in September she started reception. So I was able to focus a lot more on the business instead of just bits here and there and what have you. So yeah.
It's quite a lot, isn't it, that, you know, looking after it's not just looking after a child, but looking after a young one who needs your time and your support as well, and trying to run a business. It's a lot, isn't it?
It is. It's challenging. You know, you don't always have control over a child. They do as they please. I mean, right now, everybody, she's here. I haven't got childcare at the moment, so I've kind of like settled her, and it's life. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that can resonate to
absolutely. There'll be plenty of people that can relate to that, and you've also managed to keep it going 12 months of homeschooling as well. How's that been?
Oh gosh, well, let's just say I'm glad that they're back at school. You know, it's had its ups and downs. Don't get me wrong, we've built some memories. It's been fantastic to see her grow and flourish and everything, and spending time with her, because I won't get that time. You know, they go to school, they come home, they're tired. So it's been nice. You know, you've just got to find the silver lining, as they say.
Absolutely. I think we've all now got a new appreciation for a teacher, haven't we? I think we all...
Key workers in general, you know, the NHS and the teachers and even the people, you know, in stores as well, you know, for us to be able to go out and shop and you know, put themselves at risk, really. So
yeah, absolutely. So what was the concept behind the business? What made Ayesha's Attire so important for you? What was it all about?
So for me, it's a back end of my story, my own personal story, really. That when I get to speak to people, I say that for me, this isn't just a boutique that's got the, you know, the latest trends and what have you. So I started this because When I had Ayesha, regardless of me being a single mum, but when I had Ayesha, I was used to buying, expensive clothes. I was able to just kind of treat myself as and when I wanted to. I had no commitments, what have or anything, and and then when you have a child, everything is like, have they got the shoes, medicines, their clothes, going out, treating them, everything kind of costs. And you have to kind of make sure they're all right before you think about spending money. And then you've got the bills and everything. So I used to buy clothes from other brands, but it just wasn't the same. I wasn't feeling good in myself, and I could tell the quality. And in fact, I was spending more because you would put it in the machine, and then after one or two washes, it was coming out bobbly. And another thing was that I wasn't able to wear it for different occasions. It was either at work, or if I go to a meeting, or socially. So I wanted to find a brand that kind of did all that, ticked boxes. So it was quality, it was stylish, and it was versatile. 3 categories. So I went on a hunt, and it took its time, trial and error and all that kind of stuff. And I found a brand, and that's what they do. So you can dress it up, you can dress it down, so if you're doing a school run, you're picking up the kids, and then you don't have time to be coming home and then dressing up. You can still wear the same pieces that you've got for your Zoom meeting, or you're nipping into the office for a meeting, or whatever, and it's making life easy for you, but making sure that you feel comfortable and you feel good within yourself. A lot of people talk about self-care, and they talk about having time for yourself, and having creams, and going from exercising, but dressing well, dressing good is self-care as well. Looking after yourself, because if you look good, if you feel you look good, then you're confident for the day. You can tackle them life challenges. So it's important that my customers and myself have pieces that we can throw on. If we have time, perfect. Put some jewelry on, put some accessory, scarf, whatever. But if you don't, then you can just walk out of the house with what you've got.
And you buy pieces, don't you, that are worn more than one way? So in other words, you can dress them up for something that is of an evening occasion, if you will, when we get back to doing that kind of thing, or that you could, like you say, you could wear to the office. So one item's not being used for one purpose, is it? You can mix and match your stuff, which means budget-wise, I suppose people get a lot more for the money as well, don't they? Because they're wearing it more often in different ways.
Yes, yeah, exactly what you've just said. And it's so important. There's fast fashion, and it's kind of not doing that. Condensing it and making sure that we are kind of just thinking about before we buy these pieces, instead of impulse buying, thinking, oh yeah, we are coming out of lockdown, and there's going to be lots of celebrations that people have held back, and thinking, right, we're going to do birthday, christening, weddings, you name it, and people want to look good, but at a budget. So these are affordable pieces that will last you.
And I think that ticks so many boxes, doesn't it? It's, finance-wise, you are getting more for your money, but you're getting better quality that washes and lasts longer, but that you then get more wear out of, because there's lots of us that think I haven't got so-and-so for tomorrow, and find themselves, I don't know, running around Sainsbury's, whatever, trying to find a white shirt, or trying to... that actually you're never going to wear again, because it's never going to wash well, and it gets chucked, and then you've it may have done for that one day, but it's not. And it's also, as you're rightly saying, there's an aspect of sustainability, isn't there, here, where otherwise we're feeding a system where stuff's just going to landfill and being dumped, and that whole ecosystem is being affected as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's just being mindful before we buy that piece that, first of all, where can you wear it? And how many times, and is it really going to have that same quality wash after wash?
Absolutely. So you've been in business for a little while now. You've managed to run that business during the lockdown. You've managed to homeschool whilst in the lockdown. You've managed to keep everything together. What kind of lessons have you learned, do you think, from being a single mum, but also a business owner? It's a heck of a thing to be able to achieve. What's it done for you, do you think? What have you learned from the process?
Do you know what's been brilliant about running a business online? And I do network, and it's been so good that I do a lot of pop-up shops normally if we wasn't in lockdown. But one thing that I have to say is that when I've networked, or when I've seen people's life, I've been able to connect with them. So I live in Lancaster, and I've connected with people in London. Nowhere would my path cross with them. First of all, because of the occupation and the distance. But it's kind of brought people together. I mean, for example, Ruth, when you do your relaxed networking as well, you have people from all over, really, don't you?
Yeah, we do. And you're right, we wouldn't have had that before, because we've got people that are coming in from areas of Wales and all sorts of things. And they're actually doing business together, but they wouldn't have been doing that had it have been a physical event. You're absolutely right. It does connect you with people from all different walks of life and different locations.
It is, and people that thought that they can't work from home are. I mean, yes, don't get me wrong, you can't beat face-to-face contact, but things are possible. You can do it, and it's been great actually, connecting, building relationships, with these people. And then obviously when we do come out of lockdown, then we will, kind of meet, whether it's halfway, and support one another. So it's been brilliant in that way.
And what are you most proud of, do you think, about the business so far?
What am I proud of? Gosh, lots of things, but it's hearing people. I mean, I say to you that right now, I've just said to you about the quality and the versatility and all that kind of stuff, but that's just me saying it. But when I hear people saying it themselves, they're like, oh my gosh, I was able to not iron this piece that I bought. I've been able to wear it number of times, and that's been great. So, it's not just me, that said it. They've actually experienced it and seen it for themselves.
And what's it been like building a business? Well, how have your family been? Have they been supportive with that? When you first said, right, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to build an online clothing boutique, and I'm going to run it from home, and I'm going to stock these particular items. What was your family's response to that?
My dad is very into like education, university, working in the school, that sort of thing. So if I'm honest, they were like, no, Soaad, you used to work in the school, and you've got security, you've got ongoing income, especially having a child. I'm taking a gamble, I have to build myself the trust and everything. And I couldn't do both. So I couldn't work in a school as well as dedicate my time for this business. So I really threw myself in there and stopped working and kind of dedicated myself to this business, as well as being a full-time mum. So the response wasn't great, but one thing, regardless, they still supported me. I have to say that was that yeah, they did have their views and what have you. They were like, But then what the beauty was that I was able to take my daughter before lockdown, that I was able to take my daughter to events, when I did pop-up shops, and my mum came along and she saw what I was doing. So that's when she understood. My dad didn't, because obviously he didn't used to come or anything because he's busy working, but my mum kind of understood what I was doing, and saw the result of it. So yeah.
But it's, independent. It's a big deal, isn't it? To think,
it is.
I mean, to think, right, well, I'm gonna give up a steady income now because I believe in something that much. It's, you can believe in it, but the people around you is sometimes can not bring you down purposefully, but as parents, all parents are, they're very cautious, aren't they? And they are,
and especially when you've got a child, they're like, you need that security. You've got a really good job. Why are you giving up that? And the reason why I did that was because things had changed, and Ayesha needed stability. She needed somebody. She needed me, not just somebody. She needed me dropping her off to school, picking her up. And what job is going to give me them hours of what I wanted? They're not. They're going to be like, you're asking too much. So, and then me not being tired and all that kind of stuff. So I can spend time with her during the day, and then I work at, when she's gone to bed. So there's that flexibility as well, and if she's poorly, then I can be there for her, instead of, I mean, at one point, when kids start school, they're building up their immune system, they're always falling ill. And she went through that phase, and I was taking a lot of time off, and they were like, come on, and I literally couldn't leave her because she was even more clingy, so it was really hard. And that's when I thought, no, something's got to change, sort of thing. And that's when I kind of thought, what can I do? And my friend said to me, you love your clothes. I thought, right, okay, it can't just be me loving my clothes. I've got to have a concept and why I'm doing it, and this is why I'm different to other boutiques. I'm not just here selling clothes. I actually care, and I hand select these pieces to make sure, are they serving a purpose for the women out there? Are they going to get most out of these clothes? And that's what it is.
It's a very personal investment for you, isn't it, in that respect?
Yes.
Yeah. And the customer service side of things, you go way above and beyond on the customer service side. So if someone who's not dealt with you before, what are you proud of in that respect? Because you do get fabulous feedback, don't you, from that?
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like when I get, we're a small business and everything, and when I hear comments and reviews and everything, it's like I'm doing a happy dance inside. Honestly, that is what it genuinely feels like. So it's a lot of love and a lot of care that goes into when I'm wrapping each one, which I've posted a video on my social media. And, it's very girly, very feminine. My packaging is, and there's a little thank you card in there and a note from me, from me and my daughter. So they're my words, yeah.
So you just wouldn't get that, would you, from any large retailer? And that's the big difference.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm always up for, inquiries. I've got all the information on my website, but then if someone wants to just know a little bit more feedback, then I'm very happy for them to contact me. And, no question is too little,
So on that note, actually, while we're there then, so for people who want to have a look at the online store or want to find you on social media, how do they find you? What's the web address?
So it's www.ayeshasattire.com.
Okay, and that'll take them straight to there. And then you've got a Facebook page And you've got Instagram profile as well, haven't you?
Yes, I'm on all social media platforms, but Instagram and Facebook is the two main pages, really. Yes,
And you go live on those platforms as well, don't you?
I do. I on my Instagram, I go live on my stories, just checking in for a while. And there might be days that you might not have heard from me because mum life is just so busy, especially for Easter holidays and everything. So it's a little bit crazy, but I do check in and say I'm still here. I'm still here, and I've collaborated with a few people as well, and I've done we've with a stylist, and that's another thing is that when I hand select these pieces, I forgot to mention is that I have a stylist there, with me to help me, to guide me, to make sure that what I am picking is right, and it's the right pieces.
Yeah. So what are your hopes and aspirations for the coming year?
Well, to grow the business, to have my own base so that people, I don't want like a shop because I have a child and I still want to but I want some sort of like warehouse and just to get out there a lot more and meet people and just talk about my product, as well as what's important for me is mental well-being as well. And that's why it's like I have a little line, a little slogan sort of thing that I say, dress well to feel good, and like I said, that's at the back end of my own personal story. And dressing well, putting a little bit of lipstick, blusher, whatever it is, just to give you that pickup more than anything.
And would people maybe see you in like the charter market? Because Lancaster does like a makers market, doesn't it, as well? So would you think about doing that maybe?
Yeah. Well, I did. I think just before lockdown, and I like to. I was just before the lockdown started. I was contacting other businesses so I can hold like a pop up, but then it was agreed, but then obviously it didn't fall through because then lockdown came, and unfortunately. But yeah, I'll be out there once we are properly out, of lockdown, and I'll be running there, and then it'll be great. I'm so looking forward to just passionately talking about it, and having conversations about the pieces and my story, and helping other people that has a dream, and are too nervous because there's obstacles. And it is scary. I'm not even going to deny it. I'm sure that you've had your obstacles as well, Ruth, but with the right support, and having a mentor or of some sort, and because what I did is I went back to front, so I did things that I didn't know because I didn't know how to run a business, and then I kind of did it the proper way afterwards.
Well, they're just some of the lessons you learn, aren't they? You go into something and then you grow it to a degree, and then think, oh, actually, I could just do with some. Sometimes I think it's just bouncing your ideas off somebody, isn't it? It's that other point of view.
Yeah, it is. And if you're just a new business owner, you don't have a team. You can't afford one at the moment. So just having your friends, your family, or people within the business world. And I think it's important that you communicate with people from the business environment, because if you speak to a family member who is a teacher, they're going to be kind of clueless who works in education, they won't properly understand. So yeah, bouncing off ideas. And one thing that I've gained through my journey and networking, which networking is very important, is I've gained good friends. Actually, I would call a friend. They're not just on the business side, and I can email them or text them or ring them and say, do you know what, I'm really struggling. What do you think of this idea? I said, yeah, it's brilliant, Soaad, but maybe I'll tweak it a little bit like that. And I've had many conversations like that, because we can't always see the full picture of things.
Absolutely. And we don't know what we don't know yet, do we? So that idea of asking those and just getting somebody else's perspective on it can be so helpful.
Definitely, I highly recommend, because otherwise you don't want to go down the wrong track. So it's important that you do, you're on the right track and you know where you're going. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, it has been a pleasure to spend time with you, and the little lady has been incredibly well behaved.
Oh, I can't believe it. We had words beforehand. I did say, I'll be treating her, so she will hold me to that,
Well, she's clearly a born negotiator, so there you go.
Totally, yeah. She'll be running my business afterwards. No problem.
Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity, Ruth.
It's my pleasure. Lovely to speak to you.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening, and we hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to hear more from us in the future, why not subscribe on your favourite podcast platform? If you'd like to be featured in one of our podcast interviews, then why not contact us? You can search us across social media as The Consult Centre, or contact us at hello@theconsultcentre.com. Bye for now.